When you are heard, you are sharing responsibility and making a difference, turning challenges into inspiration, and ultimately providing much needed support to make life happen, not just for yourself, but for others too. Shaken, Stirred, But Not Deterred, Volume 2, Stories of Finding Your Way Through the Storms of Life, is a collaborative work of 19 authors from across the world who tell their stories of significant life changes that could have been the end of their way of being. But the spark of resilience and the urge to be bigger and better than before pushes them to find a way of life they are capable of and deserve. Each of these stories told is a very private and personal insight into author's life, which, as you know, has been shaken and stirred, but their choices have been to remain undeterred and move forward despite the obstacles put before them. These are their stories.
As she embarked on a journey of personal struggle to social impact, she dared to dream, drawing inspiration from uncertain paths, embracing the power within, becoming her own North Star, journeying from Parparganj to Perth, from aspiration to achievement, or finding your awesome opposites. Life is about the choices we make. He almost lost his foot. She continued remaining still. He created a second life by embracing a journey of resilience and transformation, learning life's lessons and opening life's new chapters with empathy. And with the battles she fought, she turned her terror into triumph, finally winning at life with the power of purpose. These are their stories. Shaken, Stirred, But Not Deterred, Volume 2, available now on Amazon.
And with that, I want to thank and applaud each one of our authors for having the courage and determination to share their stories so someone somewhere can read about it and feel supported, loved, inspired, motivated, empowered, or simply comforted, knowing they're not alone. My name is Nira Gupta, and together with Shikha Sarkar, we would like to welcome you all to the launch of Shaken Stirred But Not Deterred Volume 2, a book by Global Influencers Publishing House, a publishing company with the objective of connecting hearts and minds of our international readers and authors through the power of words and the belief that everyone has a story, and by writing it, you are creating your legacy. The event is brought to you by KitKat Events and Marketing, a company that has been in the forefront of empowering women and men through a series of events, forums, conferences, awards, even building an online and offline community. The focus has been on creating a safe space for people to come together, engage in, and discuss pressing issues. To know more about our books, events, or to join our community, you can follow our social media pages. Details of those are being shared on the chat now. After the success of various launches of our anthologies and solo books, celebrating close to 200 authors and inspiring hundreds and thousands of women and men to transform their journey from ordinary to extraordinary in just over 2 years. we are delighted to invite all of you to the launch of our upcoming book. The book Shaken Stirred But Not Deterred Vol.2 is available on Amazon now, and the links are being shared on the chat group as well, along with the links for purchasing our other books. You'll all be delighted to know that the royalties raised from the sales of this book are being donated to Singapore Children's Society to support the future voices of this world. Once again, a huge congratulations to all of our amazing authors. And we are very sure after today's launch, we are all set to becoming an Amazon #1 bestseller book. And with that, please welcome the co-authors of the book and the stars of today as we hear more about their journey and inspiration to share it with the world. For all those who have joined to support the authors, please do give them a shout out on the chat feature. You can take, their names. You can, talk about other authors as well. It'll be great for you to give them that encouragement. So do use the chat feature for that. Growth is not a destination, but a lifelong process. The path ahead may at times seem daunting. However, it is also exhilarating. These are the words of our author, Adele Hung, who's joining us from Singapore. Adele is a global commercial director in one of the largest biopharmaceutical companies. She's also an international keynote speaker. Her professional journey includes founding a healthcare and working in investment banking. Adele has forged a successful career holding key leadership positions across marketing, digital, and strategy functions. Over to you, Adele.
Hi everyone, Adele here. Thank you for introducing me. So yes, as Neera mentioned, I'm a commercial director in a biopharma company, and I head up sales and marketing functions. And I know many of you are here, so thank you for celebrating the book launch together with the amazing co-authors here. And I'm also an international keynote speaker who share a lot about my personal leadership journeys advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusions. Now, as Neera also mentions, supporting this book really is championing a noble cause because every royalty goes to the Singapore Children's Society. So thank you on behalf of all the children and the youth. Before I dig into the book, I would like to ask everybody a simple question. Have you ever felt that you are not good enough? I have had the privilege to mentor and coach a number of talented individuals, both at work and outside work. And I have to say, 90% of the time, the conversations is around, oh, Adele, I think I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not efficient enough. I'm not clever enough. I'm not enough. Every time I would told my mentees or coaches, I understand. I have had those moments. In fact, quite a lot of all these moments, especially earlier in my career. No way! You don't look like one of those people who have this imposter syndrome. Truth be told, I have had so much of it that I have to call it an end. And I told the I am not good enough voices, enough is enough. I'm gonna cut you off. Then I embarked in a journey, a self-discovery journey called Finding Your Awesome Opposites. It's a long self-discovery journey helping me to transform into who I am today. And it's very simple. 3 simple steps. Number 1, identify and break down where are some of these self-limiting thoughts. In my case, one of these thoughts is, I'm too short to be a good leader. And for those who know me, I'm not even 5 foot tall, I'm pretty petite. And I used to think, being so short, how can I be a good leader? How do I have executive presence? So I struggled a lot earlier in my career. And as part of this awesome opposite journey, I've learned to first break down and anchor myself. Second step, anchor myself with some contrasting but awesome examples. Some of those figures who shows that people could be still not so tall, but have strong executive presence and can be still a good leader. Final step is really learning to accept yourself with all these empowering figures and accept who you truly are. Because knowing you, knowing your authentic self, you are awesome. I call this an awesome opposite journeys. If you are interested to find out what are my awesome opposite figures that I was anchoring and turned into a positive self of today, or if you have had those I am not good enough moments, this book is for you. So do remember to order online and let's embark on this awesome opposite journey together.
Thank you very much, Adele, for that wonderful note. And really, even I've been teaching my young ones to say, I am enough. And it is very important for people to know that. And truly, truly, many of us face that. And it is a lot of times it is self-inflicted, but it
Yeah.
is. So thank you very much for all the wonderful work. And for everyone who wants to read Adele's very inspiring story, please do grab a copy of the book. All right, now up next, we have Aldwyn Altony, who's joining us from Australia. She's a mass media marketing expert known as the Media Queen. She's a TV host, speaker, photojournalist, and author of multiple international best-selling books, including the My Voice book. She is passionate about inspiring more good news in mass media to help decrease depression and suicide rates, as well as lift people's spirits. Alwyn lives by the mantra live life to the fullest, even if it means taking some chances and sometimes finding yourself in deep water. Please join me in welcoming Aldwyn.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nira. And I actually have the My Voice book right here. I love this book. I love the fact that this book, and in fact, all your projects bring together amazing people from around the world. And it's always such an honor and privilege to be part of it. So thank you so much for putting this together and giving us this opportunity. It really is amazing to connect with people all over the world that we wouldn't otherwise normally meet. So very excited. And in this particular book, this is the first book I actually shared my near-death experience that happened in February, February 19. In fact, I was doing a workshop in Coffs Harbour on the Gold Coast on the Saturday, February 18. And on February 19, the next day, I was doing a four-wheel drive trip along the beach with the lady that I did the workshop with the previous day, which was called Open Your Mind to Flourish, by the way. That's the name of the title of our workshop. And we were talking about how in life everything happens for you, not to you, right? Everything happens for you, not to you. And so the next day we're doing a four-wheel drive trip along the beach, and at the end of the beach there's a little sort of canal, a creek sort of area and there's a headland, and it goes into the ocean. And when you step into the water only comes up to your knees. And so when I hopped in, I was kind of just floating along the water. And then I got to the end, and most people just stop at the sandbank. There's a sandbank at the end. But if you go a little bit this way in that creek, what actually happens is what happened to me that day, which was incredibly scary. Basically, a big wave came over me, then another big wave, then another. And before I knew it, I was about a kilometre out to sea in deep water. In Coffs Harbour. This is an area known for sharks. There were no lifesavers, no boats. It was a horrific experience to go through. However, I am just so grateful that I survived it. And there are so many learnings that I got from that experience, which for the very first time I shared in this book. So that's, it just sort of happened that my chapter was due around that time. And it was the first opportunity I got to share that story in a book. So that's that whole, you see, read all about it in the book if you want to hear the rest of it. But, one of the biggest learnings was to learn to let go. because that could have easily have gone the other way. If I'd panicked, if I tried to fight the waves, I would have easily have drowned. And in fact, the two ladies that were with me, they said, thank goodness it was me and not them, because they said they definitely would have drowned. And in fact, up until that weekend in New South Wales beaches, there were 26 drownings up into for the summer period. It's a record number of drownings for the summer period. And in just that weekend, there were 4 drownings. And so I could easily have been a statistic. I could easily have not been here. However, I am here. And thank goodness for all the personal development work I've done and for all the different modalities that, you know, when my mind was going crazy, thinking one minute I could drown at any minute, and then the next minute I had to calm myself down. You know, it's quite a practice to do that. And thank goodness I was able to work my way through that and literally tread water, to keep my head above water for an hour out at deep sea. And thank goodness I was able to come back to shore with a bit of help, which you can read all about. So that's just one of the stories I shared. My background is I've come from a lot of depression and anger with the world, having watched the news for many years in Sydney. I grew up in Sydney in Australia. My parents and background, I've got Greek, Turkish, Ukrainian background, and all 3 countries were at war with each other. And so I say that my parents came together. I'm the love child. So amazing European mix. However, in this part of the Northern Beaches area of Sydney, where I grew up, it was a very big Anglo-Saxon area, and they didn't really understand people from other countries. And there was a lot of racism that I actually experienced, a lot of bullying that I experienced as a child. And I actually didn't feel I belonged for a long time. And then with my dad watching the negative news every night, about 2 hours of negative news, it was very, very upsetting for me. And I actually was very self-destructive. So for many years, I actually went completely off the rails, drinking a lot, smoking a lot. I was doing drugs there at one point. I got kicked out of home at 15. I was also a top junior table tennis player at the same time. And so it was quite an amazing ride that I went through my teenage years. And then I came out the other side of that, and I found this fascination for the media. Thankfully, I was able to pull myself out of that environment. And thankfully, I turned it all around. And now I've had about 30 years in the media. I help people get publicity and mass media exposure nowadays. And I'm just about to launch a new program, actually next Thursday night, is Launch Your Own Global TV Show. So this is the next way I'm moving forward now with my next program. I'm very excited about it and helping people build their influence and their impact. And this is what my plan was with the Global Good News Challenge that I started through COVID as well. The last 3 years now, we've had 3 years of the Global Good News Challenge, which is a free monthly challenge that anyone can participate in. And it's all about sharing gratitude and good news and helping to lift the energy on the planet, to lift your energy, lift the energy of people around you through gratitude and through good news. And so I challenge people watching this to hop on there and do a good news challenge. It's very, very simple. It's free marketing for you, and you'll feel amazing. And it will also help to decrease depression and suicide rates in the community as well. So I'm very passionate about what I do, and I can easily talk for hours. However, I will wrap it up there. And I just invite people to connect with me on linktree/Aldwin, linktr.ee/Aldwin. It's got all my links, and stay connected, and love to hear from you. And congratulations to all the fellow authors and for putting this amazing book together. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Aldwin. And clearly, with everything that you've been through and how your life's come out, a chapter or chapters are not enough. In fact, I think not even a book. You need a trilogy at least for covering everything.
Yeah, I think so. And the story continues. You know, I just got back from Thailand, and my beautiful cat of 16 years just died. And then, you know, I've been 3 days of grieving. And then I just adopted another rescue cat. And now I'm so happy again with my, you know, to be able to save another soul. So, you know, that's just another part of the story as well that will be in the next book. So.
Good luck with all of that. And can I just, Lena, if you're around, could I request you also switch on your camera? Because now that we have all of the authors who are joining today, we do have a few coming in, probably joining later. But we'll try and do yet another quick picture. Shika, if you've got us all on gallery mode. Okay, so I want to do this because I don't want to glare. Okay, big smiles, everyone. All right, great. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I love that little heart that you have there. That's a cool touch, Aldwin.
Thank you. All you need is love, Neera.
Yes, and clearly your story is all about make love, not war. For your
That's right. Exactly. Although I haven't been getting much love lately because I'm single. But anyway, that's another story.
Everyone who's here joining us today, Aldwin is single again. So, all
That's
right.
right. So,
Found
so
bachelor.
if you're interested, just send me a private message and we can have a chat.
All right. Well, that was Aldwin, everyone joining us from Australia. I am continually driven by the love for life on my terms, creating new memories and loving what I see through colored lenses daily, says our next author, Meenakshi Silk, also joining us from Australia. She is a professionally trained hotelier who became a soft skills trainer after working in the travel and hospitality industry for over 8 years. Meenakshi has held senior HR management positions with large MNCs. Finally, moving from corporate to becoming an entrepreneur, establishing two successful businesses, a structural engineering practice with a husband, and an HR consulting firm. Please join me in welcoming Meenakshi.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Neera, for the introduction. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today and for showing your support. As Neera mentioned, I call Australia home, and I've lived here for the past 17 years. Grew up in Delhi, and unfortunately, what underpins my story is deep trauma, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So I decided to write about it after 17 years, or in fact, longer than that, because I wanted to share my story and share the fact that domestic violence happens in urban, educated, middle-class families. It's not something that's reserved only for poor people. It's not something that's reserved for uneducated people. It happens in everyday routine life, and I'm a living example of that. So obviously, as a survivor of domestic violence, I have some deep traumas that I experienced. And when you experience deep trauma, it is absolutely life-changing. What's important, though, is what do you do with that trauma? Because at that point, you've got no experience of how to deal with it. You've got no understanding of it. So I wanted to write my story and share two key takeaways from my story of recovery. The first takeaway is that experiencing domestic violence should not leave you embarrassed, that it's not the survivor's fault. And despite whatever our cultural backgrounds or our stereotypes tell us, we have to tell ourselves that we shouldn't be embarrassed about it. The second takeaway is that the journey for recovery and resilience, everyone says, be resilient, recover and be resilient. But what does it actually mean to be resilient is something that requires a fair bit of self-discovery and understanding what is important to me as a person. It's not about just simply forgetting what happened or pretending like we never talk about this, because we just want it to go away. So my story is about what I discovered as being key to my being, what's important to me. And for me personally, there were three things that are vital for me as a person. The first thing is to find exciting and meaningful work, which gives you purpose, gives me purpose. The second thing is to find emotional stability in relationships. And when I say relationships, it's not necessarily just romantic relationships, but all relationships in life, your parents, your families, your friends, associates, everybody. And the third thing is to actually gain financial independence and take control of your finances so that you don't have to rely on others for survival. So this is, in crux, this is the story that I have told. I can keep going on and on about it, but I'm sure you're dying to read about it. So I'll let you do that in the book. If you haven't already purchased the book, please do purchase it. Please do read my story and tell me how you feel. So yeah, and that's really where I'd like to end. Thank you very much for inviting me to write this chapter. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And clearly, it is not an easy thing to share something that is so personal, that affects a lot of people around as well. And it takes a lot of courage to share that. But it is also a part of healing process when you do share something that's so personal, because that kind of shows that, okay, well, I have, I'm in a better place now. So, but thank you so much for sharing that in the book, and of course giving a little glimpse to everybody else today. So for everyone who wants to read Meenakshi's story and everybody else's story, please do grab a copy of the book. We are on our way to becoming an Amazon #1 bestseller, and we need everyone's support to do this. So thank you very much, Meenakshi, for sharing that. All right, from Meenakshi, we are moving westward, and our next author is from Hong Kong. Her name is Christina Thimmer, who is also the author of the Amazon #1 bestseller book series called My Voice. She has been leveraging over 2 decades of expertise in cross-cultural environments, and Christina is extremely passionate about learning and development. And that's how she's paved a way to found Next Chapters, a social purpose business that seeks to reduce social inequality through coaching and facilitation. She believes empathy provides a window into someone else's world. Take it away, Christina.
Thanks so much, Neera, and thanks to the team at Global Influencers for inviting me back for this opportunity. It's wonderful to be able to be here today with all of the fellow authors, and thanks to everyone in the audience for your support. I think that, when I was approached to write a chapter in this book, I really was reflecting upon my experience in working in the coaching industry. For many years, I've been facilitating and training, but really with coaching and also mentoring, one of the things that really I feel has helped me was that bit of empathy. And I say that bit, but not to undermine it, but it's something that I think that is just so essential. You almost don't even need to think about it. And I think that it's something that in my experience that I've written about in this chapter of the book, it came up in a very different way. I was working with a domestic worker in Hong Kong and really helping her along in her journey. And it was something in relation to really practicing empathy. And in the book, I get into like how challenging that was for me, because I think that especially when you're coaching and mentoring, you're very quick to want to prescribe solutions to people. And I think that part of being in that empathetic space is pausing yourself, taking off those blindfolds, and really stepping into the shoes of that individual to the best that you can, because you can never fully be in those shoes, and that's okay, and finding peace with that. Interestingly enough, once that coaching wound down, that coachee and I became friends. And then they became friends with my husband's guitar teacher. And funny enough, there was one afternoon when this individual needed support, and this coachee that I was working with met Caston, our guitar teacher, and they hit it off, and they were suffering from a moment in their lives, and through that aspect of empathy, they were able to kind of pass the torch, if you will. And it was something that I saw, it happened on our rooftop, and just offering that support. So it was wonderful to kind of see, whatever I instilled in this first person, in this coachee, and then later on having that person pass that on and give that space and empathy to the other was just really, really amazing. And I think that is something that we can all learn from. Never underestimate the power of what we can give in a coaching or mentee relationship. You never know whose lives that you can touch. And so I think that that's really inspiring. And it was just completely organic, but it was something very special, and something that I saw that looking back, because now time has passed, that both of them have been able to thrive. And it's just wonderful to see how in that space that was able to be possible. So with that, I'll turn it over to the readership for more. And thank you once again for inviting me to write the chapter.
Thank you very much, Christina, once again, to be part of something that is going to change lives of so many people. And I loved reading your chapter, especially when you said that. And again, no, spoiler alert, but how you said the fact that you were able to also connect with the person was because you had been doing something very similar when you were in America, and you said, you know, nobody needs to be treated like that. So I love the fact that you weren't afraid to share that with people, with your readers, to know that, you know, you've been in that position as well. So you knew how it feels. So thank you so much for being so candid and for sharing this. And yes, absolutely, empathy does go a very, very long way. And for everyone, we have shared Christina's details on the chat group, as with all of the other authors who have gone before her. Please do connect with each one of them and read their chapters. Tell us what you think about it. Thank you very much. Guru Vishwanathan from Singapore is a champion of organizations that support and help women and children. For the last 30 years, he is a veteran in technology. He currently heads pre-sales for South Asia with Telstra International. He's also a master coach for sales strategies, and on a personal front, he participates in various fundraising activities from Children Cancer Foundation, Children's Surgical Center, and many, many more. Now, according to him, the mind and the body are intricately connected, and nurturing a positive mindset can truly work wonders. Please join me in welcoming Guru to hear a little bit more about his story.
Thank you, Neera. This is usual because I don't write. I write, but I don't know what to say. And when I went through what I went last year of getting amputated, that was a wake-up call in many ways, more than one. What started as a tiny scratch in 3 surgeries, and I think Neera can the fact that I'm pretty much known as a guy who always smiles, laughs, and I generally don't have bad moods. It generally annoys a lot of people because they're like, don't you ever have an off switch, or do you ever feel not disconnected? I said, no, I always feel connected to everything I do. So the surgery recovery process was long. 3 surgeries, total 6 months of not able to walk, wear a special device. Well, let's not even go to the fact that I couldn't shower because the device was an impediment for doing anything. My surgeon, thank you, Dr. Francis, who was really good. He actually decided not to amputate my foot. But there was a 37-hour suspense because I didn't know whether I still had one or not, because my foot was covered in bandage that looked this big, right? I'm trying to poke it from top to see if there is a toe around or not, but no, it was nicely packed. Fun fact, I had 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 spinal anesthesia, which, ladies, you would know, is epidural. That's right. If somebody asks me what spinal anesthesia is, I'll say I had 3. Scary. Looking at the needle, like short-circuited my brain for a long time. And the feeling of not feeling below your waist during every of that anesthesia was just a self-horror movie in your head. You're literally poking your leg to see if there is some sensation coming back or not. So never again will I ever talk about pain, especially when it comes to certain things. This is also a true test to my own personality, so to speak, as someone who's been known always to be cheery, fun, who doesn't get angry or upset and all that. Was I able to maintain the same spirit? Did I fall and spiral into something which I have no idea how to? I didn't, actually. My doctor called me a model patient because he said, I always know when Guru is in the clinic because all I hear for the 45 minutes is peals of laughter from the nursing staff while they are literally scraping his tendons, and it's like ruthlessly painful. And because I refuse very strong painkillers, I didn't want to get into addiction type of problem. So I left it to mid range, which my doctor said, you're strange. But in the end, my doctor confirmed to me saying that I think your healing accelerated by at least a significant amount of time because of how you approached it with an absolute positive mindset. Your mindset was the biggest medicine that you had. And I think you have to congratulate yourself that you maintained a cheerful spirit and happy spirit, and you took everything, the wound vac device, the this, the that. We throw the kitchen sink at you and you took it to the gym. Ask the right questions. Nothing would have worked without the help and support of your family and friends. And this is COVID, Singapore hospital, no visitors allowed, absolutely none, right? And if you only immediate family were allowed, but my father, sister, they're all in India. There's no way they could come. 2 years ago, India was not allowed to come without quarantine. So after I came back home, I had the support of friends who supplied me with food. Mira being one of them, by the way, who actually happily came and dropped off a lot of healthy food. For 4 months, I was well fed because I couldn't walk around and cook. I had support of my family, my sister, dad, my nieces. Everyone will call me to make sure that I'm okay. And my colleagues, they'll drop in the morning, in the evening, they'll sit across me, work, just give me company because you can't just go out, and I couldn't go out. I think the lesson that I would want others to get is no matter how bad it is, there is always a way out. It doesn't matter how low things get, there is always a way out. You just have to persevere and just not lose it, right? And it's not easy. I'm not going to deny that this is never going to be easy, but there is always a way out. And trying to stay positive and cheerful does help. And it helped me tremendously. And I hope that, my story will also help you in similar stories. Once again, thank you, Neera. Thank you for publishing, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guru, for sharing that. And yes, I came over to your house after all of that, and I couldn't believe how positively you were talking about this. And I believe every friend who said that that's not normal to be talking about this, but clearly that was the reason why you were able to get through everything that was happening. And for everyone who wants to know more about Guru and to read his story and to connect with him, please do so. It really has been a journey for him. So thank you very much for being very candid in sharing that in the book. Our next author, Ivan McAdam O'Connell from Singapore, is driven by his passion for empowering individuals to unlock their minds and embrace their true potential, enabling them to lead a remarkable life. Having spent 16 years working in leadership positions across global banks in different countries, Ivan took a courageous leap by embarking on an 18-month worldwide travel with his wife and young daughter. It is then he realized that when we have the mental space and flexibility to think, learn, and build, we can unlock our talents and creativity and live a life far richer and more stimulating. Now, Ivan is now the co founder of Freedom Lifestyle Design. His mission is to empower 1 million families to live a happier, healthier, and more prosperous lives together. Over to you, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Neera. It's a real honor to be part of this inspiring group. I think we've all found our way here through our different storms of life. So firstly, a big congratulations to all the other co-authors here today on reaching this milestone. And thank you to Global Influencers for helping us get here. A huge thank you also to all our friends and family here offering support today. You've helped us achieve this milestone in many different ways. So big thank you as well. To introduce myself, I'm Ivan McAdam O'Connell. So I've been a teacher, a banker, a COO, an expat, and happily today, now it seems an author. But as I approached 40 in my life, I decided that I needed to change lanes. I decided I was going to put freedom, family, and purpose at the center of my life. Reflecting back now on why I wrote my story, I think I was inspired to write about the sunny morning when my second life began, to share the message with people that the impossible dream of freedom really is possible. People are often stuck in the prisons of their mind, thinking that they can't do this and they can't do that. So I wanted to share all we learned traveling around the world as a family, and since then on our journey of freedoms, and I hope you enjoy it. My hope really is to share a message of positive change, whatever the change you want to achieve in your life is. And especially for other stressed, under pressure families out there who dream of more. So most importantly of all, I think my hope is that my story sparks some change for you, especially for other families who dream of living happier and healthier and richer lives together. I'd really love to connect on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear any feedback you have about my story, and I can't wait to read everybody else's great stories as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ivan. And I remember seeing that post on LinkedIn where you put up a picture of an empty house, of how you let go of all belongings. And I wrote, I'm like, this is impossible. I would never be able to do that. And you said, try
Possible.
it. It's not. Yeah, I mean that seemed very, very hard to me. And for everyone, I do want to let you know that Ivan is on his way to write his first solo book. So he's had this taste of writing a chapter, and now he has started writing his own solo book, which will be released, fingers crossed, this year. And we'll let all of you know when that comes out. So good luck to you, Ivan, with that as well.
Thank you.
Trust in your inner voice to guide you as you design your canvas, and trust to be guided by the higher power through the process. These are simple yet powerful words by our next author, joining us from Hong Kong, Karishma Samtani, who strives to touch as many hearts as possible through her work as a career coach, mental health first aider, community health worker, and labor rights ambassador. In her professional role and pro bono basis, she has worked with over 3,000 students individually through universities, nonprofit organizations, and social enterprises, helping them achieve their goals. Over to you, Karishma.
Thank you so much, Neera. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you all for joining us today in this book launch. It means a lot to all of us, so thank you very much. As I sit back and I think about why I wrote on this book, it's quite funny because when Shika actually reached out to me the first time, I think I must have told her no numerous times. And then one day I got a message from Neera and I'm like, oh, Shika's reached out to me as well. And that is when I decided that maybe this is a sign that I need to write this time. I'm not quite a writer. I don't usually talk about my journey, but I think, like I said, it just felt like this was the right time. Similar to Meenakshi, I've grown up in a household where we did face domestic violence. However, I didn't know that that's domestic violence. To me, it was just a dysfunctional family that I came from. As I moved up in my career journey, I had a job in a bank. I have a job in a bank, which I love. I love what I do, but it just didn't feel enough, which is why I went out and I started reaching out to students from ethnic minority backgrounds, from low social income families. And the reason that was because it felt like the child that was within me needed to come out. What I wanted in life at that age, I needed to bring it out to life for others. That's why I decided to write this book, so that this book can reach as many young adults, as many kids who can look and read my story and actually reach out to me, to be that hand, that invisible hand, in bringing them out from whatever it is that they're going through. Because whilst I was growing up, in spite of coming from a dysfunctional family, and in spite of having people doubting me and questioning me and judging me, today I'm very grateful for where I am in life, and how I've come to the point at this point. I won't say I've done it on my own. I've been very blessed with very strong individuals in my life, starting from my grandmother to my mother, some of my managers along the way, some of my mentors along the way. I see some of you have joined this call today, and I'm so grateful to see you. It's because of them, I believe, I have achieved whatever I have. And what I want to leave all of you with is, there's something inside all of us. The question is, do we dare to dream? And if you do dare to dream, look around you and find those people who will sit there and hold your hand and tell you you can do it, because there are a lot of them around us. If you want to read more about my story, please do connect with me, order your copy of the book, and reach out on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karishma, for sharing that. And I remember how you were like, okay, this is destiny because it's coming from everywhere. And I won't take any names here, but there were people who had recommended that you must speak with her. They're based in Hong Kong, and I'll tell you later who those. They're all friends. There are people who have written in the book before, and they said she has a story and she needs to let it all out. And I'm so happy that you bared as much as you were comfortable with, but it's a great start. So, but thank you so much for sharing something that was so personal to you. So, for everyone else, once again, if you want to read her story, please do purchase a copy of the book and read the stories of all the amazing 19 authors that have really bared their soul so that you can be inspired by their stories. You can make the change that you need in your life and be inspired, empowered, and motivated. So, once again, thank you to everybody who has joined in to support them. And, I'm loving all the comments that are coming on the chat. Please keep them coming. And of course, I want to continue to thank all of our authors. It does take a lot of courage to do that. So kudos to all of you. And with that, I will move on to our next author who says, the power lies within us to change and to transform ourselves, our circumstances, our lives. It's just a matter of choice. Now, this is a true but an often forgotten message by our author, Preeti Karani, who's joining us from Singapore. She is an experienced executive coach and leadership facilitator with more than 20 years of experience in corporate leadership. Preeti, with all of her experience in leadership, collaborates with individuals at all levels, fostering essential leadership qualities such as emotional intelligence, resilience, even driving sustainable growth and impact. Please join me in welcoming Preeti.
Thank you, Neera. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here and sharing this space with the rest of the authors whose stories I'm dying to read. But if I'm here, I think the credit definitely goes to Neera. I remember still, I think you reached out to me, and I think just like Christina, I think, or Karishma, yeah, kept saying no, no, no. I think I also kept saying no, no, no to Neera. And I was like, okay, fine. Finally, I kind of gave in because I know I have a story to tell. In fact, I had many stories to tell, but I think I chose one in specific because it has been one of the longest journeys I have taken. It has been one of the toughest roads I have traveled. So, and this is the first time, it's like a coming out of my first time revealing my health challenges, because I generally don't speak about it for many reasons. One, I'm an extremely private person, and two, because I'm an introvert. So it's very, very hard for me to share anything about me. But I think what got me here is because I wanted to inspire, because I felt all of us have the courage and all of us can actually move on despite any circumstances you have. So just sharing a bit. So I have multiple sclerosis and I was diagnosed in 2014. I had a relapse about 4 years back in 2019, where I kind of lost more than 80% of motor strength in my upper right limbs and upper and lower right limbs, which kind of made it very difficult for me to walk and do things because it was also my dominant side. Having said that, I'm completely recovered now, but what transpired was like a 4-year-long journey of transformation. It took me 2 years to kind of heal physically, but it took me 4 years to kind of heal emotionally and come out of that. I come from a 20 years corporate background, as Neera shared, in the luxury industry. So while I was going through this phase of recovery, emotional, mental, physical, I wanted to also utilize and sit back and think what I wanted to do for the next 20 years of my life, because life had just happened. It was one job after the other, and I wanted to definitely make a difference. So when I took a break for recovery, actually, I realized that people were always the core to me. And so I decided to become a leadership coach because of my extensive experience in leadership. But while becoming a coach, I think the journey was more about my transformation, along with my clients' transformation, because with every client, with every session, I was transforming internally. I was getting stronger internally. So I've written the story, sharing my journey of the physical recovery with the hope to inspire, with the hope that we all have the resilience. And it's something to the effect what Guru said, right? The positive mindset. So it's only when we have a positive mindset will we be able to go on. So, and the power to choose whether we want to give up, to get defeated, or whether we want to go on, it lies in us. And the only difference between failure and winning, giving up and moving on, is that choice. So my story is about the choices and the choices I kept making over 4 years of persisting, of resilience, and just going on and not giving up. And yes, while I recovered, I also am into a new thriving career. So it's kind of a double-edged thing. It's about my health and about my journey into leadership coaching. So I hope you'll pick up the book. Everyone out here, I can see my family and friends here supporting me. So thank you very much for being here. I know you all are dialing on from different locations around the globe, and it must be some odd hours, especially in the US. But thank you for joining in, and thank you for supporting me through this journey, because I wouldn't have got here had it not been for all my family and friends who supported me. So thank you very much. And I'll be happy to connect with all of you. I think I'm connected with mostly all of you. So I'll see you all on the other side.
Thank you very much, Preeti. And I do remember speaking with you, and you said, I'm not comfortable. I've never shared this. And when I heard your story, I said to you, I said, Preeti, it's your duty to share it with other people, because you are going to inspire other people, and do not deprive people of that. So I remember how that all happened, and lovely comments and support coming for Preeti, saying thank you for being courageous to share your story with all of us. You're an inspiration. Love you, Preeti. You've been an inspiration to all of us. Cash, you've had a lot of support coming in as well, where people are saying more power to you, and stating that one comes from a dysfunctional family clearly takes a lot of courage. I think it's very brave to share inner struggles. So proud of you, Cash. There are more messages of people who are very proud of you. Guru, you've had some great messages coming in as well, saying congratulations, Guru, and all well done on the book. Congratulations, Ivan. Very inspiring. Congratulations to all of the authors. Guru, there's more messages about positive mindset is very important, and we've all seen that. And thank you everybody for your messages congratulating all of the authors. There's so many wonderful messages. We also have a message for you, Meenakshi, saying congratulations, Meenakshi, well done on the book. And again, more and more messages congratulating each one of you. And to Adele as well, thank you for sharing. We are all very proud of you. So thank you very much for all of these messages. Please, like I said, keep them coming in. Everyone loves to read them. So thank you very much for that. Now, with that, we are going to move more westward to the Middle East. Embrace your worth, for you deserve all the love, happiness, and success life offers, and be your own North Star. This is a lesson our next author, Anuradha Dhawan from UAE, learned from her own life experiences. Apart from being a real retail professional with over 25 years of experience, she is recognized as a distinguished guest speaker. Her impactful talks encompass purposeful leadership, equitable professional practices, and sustainable solutions, igniting a meaningful dialogue. With that, please join me in welcoming Anuradha Dhawan.
Hello, everyone. Truly, truly, truly excited to be here today. Of course, it's wonderful to officially call yourself a published author. So I'm adding that to my list of titles of the many adventures of my life so far. And I first must thank you, Neera and Shikha, for this absolutely fantastic opportunity, not just to be a part of something so inspiring, which is inspiring to everyone who's been a part of this and everyone who's going to read our stories, but also for something which is so purposeful with the Singapore Children's Society that you're supporting with this. Of course, I mean, that's close to my heart to be purposeful in every way that I can be. So I'm absolutely delighted to be here today. Of course, I'm also full of gratitude to have the opportunity to just look back at my own journey, because sometimes we forget how surreal and reassuring it can be. And we don't realize that our own stories have so much power, not just for us, but for others as well. So when you reached out to me for the story, again, like I always say, destiny patterns of my life. I was going through the emptiness space in my life with my daughter packing up to leave for Canada. And at that moment, I was already in the process of sharing some highlights of my life with her, just to share with her how life can be and how, you have to navigate through the various challenges that are thrown at you. And during that conversation, she actually told me, Mom, you have such an amazing story, it needs to be told. And at the same time, you reached out to me. So, of course, it came together beautifully. For me, of course, I think the main central narrative of my story is to find the courage to be your own North Star, because, of course, we don't live a life alone. We have our loved ones and our families around us. But it's very important to look within and find what drives you and what's your purpose in life, and be your own guiding light. Trust your own intuition. And then, despite all of that, we do come to a point where we could feel lost. But if you have that inner light, if you believe that you can be your own North Star, you will always be able to slow down, catch your breath, get up again, and find your direction. And that's how I have truly led my life. And I always say that I have lived a life of no regrets, because I have done always what feels right to me. And when you do what feels right to yourself, you do everything that you can to make it work. And that, of course, has been central to everything that I have done so far. My life has been, of course, about my quest for success, but along the way, I have also learned that you have to define your own success. You have to define what really, truly matters to you. The society, of course, always questions the aspirations and capabilities of women still. And of course, my having been part of the big corporate world, I have seen enough of that already. But I have refused to let these limitations limit me. And I have navigated my own way through all of these challenges. And then on the other hand, the society is still unfortunately bound by the conventional rules that we all play, especially in our relationships. And witnessing a woman take on the role of a primary provider, I think, is still something that raises a lot of question marks. It's very normal for a woman to give up her career, her life, her family for the man in her life. But if the man has to do that, he has to answer a lot of questions, and so does the woman. And I think for me, I have challenged that norm and redefined these boundaries. And I have found that equilibrium in my relationship. We have achieved that role reversal beautifully and created that progressive shift that I think is very important in today's society when everybody is striving to do their best. And why not to have shared responsibilities and create a more inclusive and balanced relationship and a family life that supports you and your aspirations in a way that works for you in particular? How does it matter to anybody else? So, of course, for me, that has been, I think, the central message of how I have challenged all of these norms of society and lived on my own terms while still fitting into the bigger scheme of things. I have also been very blessed to have some very inspiring women in my life. Unfortunately, three of them who were my anchors, I lost them one after the other in a very, very short span of time. To me, that grief was very, very hard to handle. So a part of my story also deals about managing grief and making time for yourself and allowing yourself to heal, to take that time to just slow down and feel and heal. Because that's most important. If you don't feel right within yourself, no matter what you're achieving in life, it will never feel right. So even managing and dealing with grief, just self-love and creating that space for yourself is very, very important. So yeah, I think on that note, I will just invite everyone to buy our book, Shaken, Stirred, But Not Deterred, which I think is something that all of us resonate with. Our stories are all about that. So please join us on this journey that celebrates the extraordinary in all of us. And I'm sure that it will be such an exciting collection of everyone's journeys. I'm really, really looking forward to getting my hands on the final print, Neera and Shikha. So thank you again from all of us, and keep doing this great work. I'm really looking forward to getting the book finally. All the best to everyone. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Anuradha. And I remember when you shared the first draft of the chapter, I said there are 5 different chapters in this, and we have to, and that is just so key, right? We go through life, and so much happens in our lives. And it's so hard when we first start writing about it, and what do we write about, and who do we connect with? But again, to be able to bring it all together and to tell this story with so much candidness, with so much love, and the feeling to inspire other people. It is not an easy thing, but of course, you've done it wonderfully in your chapter. And yes, as Anuradha already said, please do get a copy of the book and read about all of the inspiring stories. And of course, we've got some amazing messages coming for you, Radha, saying thank you for sharing the important message of managing grief, because that is a topic that we don't talk about much because we don't actually know how to. And it is something that needs to be spoken about. So thank you very much for sharing that, and also telling people about, you know, there are new normals, right? We don't have to stick with what we know and what we've been told. We build our own life. We go through our own challenges and how we overcome them, it is up to us. And coming back to what Preeti had said, that, there will be a lot of choices and it is up to you to make the right choices. And that pretty much does talk about a lot of the different chapters of, what's been shared. So thank you very much for sharing that. Failures are not to be feared, but embraced as valuable teachers on the path to success, says Anindya Naskar, our next author, who is a leading figure in global retail, serving as the head of learning and development. With numerous accolades in HR, learning, talent, and leadership domains, Anindya is a certified coach in resilience and execution excellence. He aspires to be a learning consultant and a performance technologist in the near future. Let's hear more from Anindya about his story and his inspiration to write in the book Shaken Stirred But Not Deterred Vol.2.
So, guys, you can call me Andy. Anindo is a very Bengali name, so everybody knows me as Andy. And I'm like super excited to be here. Generally, most of my family and friends is in that excitement. I tend to forget some hygiene, so I'll get the hygienes first. So first of all, thanks to all in Global Influences team, for putting such an awesome anthology of stories, And, guys, congratulations for you on your second volume of this awesome book. For some of you who are there, do not know, this is volume 2. Volume 1 was a massive hit. And I'm sure the second volume would be a bestseller too. So, thanks to you guys. And thanks and congratulations to all the co-authors for sharing their inspirational story and making a difference to your life. And not only that, to others' life who would read it, who would go on, get inspired, and write such anthologies in the future. So, by this book, you have touched their lives, and they would go on and touch other people's life, and it would go on. So, kudos to all of you. And I'm sure at some point in time, we would party together when the book eventually will become a bestseller. So, kudos to all of you. Thanks to all family and friends and colleagues who have taken time to attend, and this shows that they really care and support, and that means a lot to all of us. So honestly, I never thought I would write a book, honestly. It was my colleague Soha, who's a fellow co-author. Thanks to Soha for doing that, who inspired me to do that. And the time itself was so short. I was taking about a week, 10 days. And Shikha remembers we were on a rampant to get this sorted. But I think things don't matter that much when you are desired to do something or being in the moment. So today, for all the co-authors, for Shikha, Niru, I think it's our moment, and we are destined to be here. So if you're reflecting why you want to buy this book, there are some questions you might want to reflect and inflect on. So what is your ultimate vision and goal? How do you want to align your passion, desired outcomes, and actions to achieve it? What are your life's challenges, and what is your current attitude towards those challenges and goals? And how can you actually cultivate a mindset and maintain an unwavering passion and commitment to overcome these challenges and goals? And this is all our stories are going to talk about. So a little bit of my story, and I would let you read it when you buy it. My story is a decade-long struggle. Actually, I don't call it a decade-long struggle. I would call it a decade-long pursuit. My journey is about, it's a little personal. It's built with resilience, passion, persistence, patience, and perseverance. Oh, wait, there are too many words to it. Uh, Personal because it's very deep to me. I've never shared this, and I would never ever even think of sharing this in public domain. I'm writing a book on how my aspirations became my achievement. Resilience, because it toughened me to the core muscles, right from my muscles to my brain muscles. It really toughened me. Passion, because it's something I love to do. I don't think so. I was born for learning and development, capacity, capability development, and I could not think of doing anything else. So, and that drove me for the next 10 years. And that's where passion comes in, because I failed, and succeeded. And the journey was for almost next 10 years. Perseverance, because of the grit and determination, was to achieve it. And how could I drive my passion to achieve what I aspire and to excel in what I wanted to do? So, my story is a testament to the relentless pursuit of excellence in the field of performance, in the field of human capital. And for almost a decade, I have embarked on a challenging journey filled with aspirations, setbacks, and ultimately triumph. From the early stages of my career as a talent professional and a performance accelerator, that's what I call myself, I recognize that there is transformative power of self coupled with the potential of us being in our field in shaping the lives and development of individuals, teams, organizations, and maybe nations, fueled by a deep passion for people and growth. And that's what that inspires me every day. I embarked on a mission to make a lasting impact in the realm of talent development. That's what I continue to do today. So if you are ready to go through my lesson and my story, three key lessons is what I have. The first lesson is, how do you crystallize your vision and have clarity over it? The second is about attitude and passion and how it acts as a catalyst for you to succeed. And the third lesson is all about managing your time. And we would never have enough time. And how can you deal with procrastination? And last but not the least, if you have succeeded and whether you have not succeeded, take, celebrate, party, and you would actually eventually learn from it, because that's what failure does. It makes you better at what you want to be best at. So if you're waiting for getting to know more about the story, more about similar stories of all my co-authors, it's there on the digital racks. Grab it, and looking forward to reading other stories of co-authors as well. Thanks a lot, and thanks for attending this. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Andy, for that. And of course, there's a lot of support coming from you saying congratulations. Great to see. Super proud of you. And I could, at the background, keep hearing the beep, beep, beep coming for all of the messages for you. So thank you very much. And of course, the book, as Andy said, is available in Kindle format, paperback, and hardcover. So do go out there and grab a copy so you can read about the stories of everyone. And of course, I also want to let everyone know that, we're always looking for authors who have an inspiring journey. And to be very honest, a lot of times we think that, our journey is just something that, it's ordinary. I did what I have to do, but we don't realize the fact that not everybody has the courage of we may have done and what we may have achieved. So, yes, all of us have a story in there. And if you want to share your story, please let us know. We do have an upcoming volume coming, which is My Voice, volume 7, which is the seventh volume of the book. If you wanted to write in that, or if you were looking at writing a solo book, please do get in touch with us. We'll tell you, we'll help you, we'll coach you on the whole process about writing, publishing, and marketing. So please do get in touch with us. And of course, we're going to share our details with you on the chat group as well. And I mean, I'm loving all of the messages, and what the authors are saying, that, we weren't ready for it. We weren't sure if we can do it. And then Neera or Shikha just said, you've got that story in there. Just have the courage to share. And that's exactly all you need, is to have that courage. The rest, leave it up to us, because that's what we're here for. And with that, I would like to invite our next author. Her name is Lina Al Assad. She's also from UAE. Now, Lina is an experienced corporate executive and certified coach. She specializes in executive leadership and team coaching, providing customized solutions for her clients to achieve their goals and overcome challenges. Now, Lena mentors and promotes social impact as a female wave of change ambassador. As a leadership coach and a strategic thinker, she firmly believes that when life closes one door, it opens another. Let's hear more from Lena.
Hi, thank you so much, Nira. I'm really thrilled to be here today. Thank you, Global Influencers Group and Jiha, and thanks to all the authors. I am so happy to know that I'm not alone, to have really pushed myself out of my comfort zone to write this, as it's not easy to find the courage to speak about our own journey, to share, at least for me, my personal intricate details of my personal life path, let's say. So I'm really proud to be taking part of this book and to be part of this global celebration. I would call it celebration of success, celebration of courage, to inspire. My hope is to inspire people here today and way afterwards, those who can hear us and those who will actually purchase the book, and to help you grow, to help everyone on their journey. So how many of you here have faced closed doors in life? How many of you have looked at those closed doors and have, cried over what has happened and what is not there anymore? And how many of you have overlooked the opportunities and possibilities that could be lying ahead? So these questions happened just because I went through lifelong transforming journey of setbacks, and like many people, I have had closed doors, I have had change of plans, I have had unexpected circumstances and challenges. Yet I have decided to look at what is there, what is the message, what has opened for me as new opportunities. How many of us women here have decided to go for motherhood after a successful career and found ourselves that, oh, it's not possible to go back to where we were exactly? Or we felt that, oh, we were way back and the journey or the present role did not suit us anymore? I was one of those. And how many of us sat in jobs wondering, what am I doing here? What do I really want? And what is my purpose? So in this book, I share the journey of discovering my purpose and how the purpose that I had once discovered has propelled me to success, and to really, it was my North Star and guiding me to reinvent myself. So every time life threw at me a setback, every time I reinvented myself and I was able to grow and succeed and reach new heights. So I invite you to read through, and I share how I could create success and how I could help in creating success in different roles, how I explored my capabilities, how I discovered my strengths, and how I overcame my imposter syndrome from an A student, really successful, to a very prominent, proud, successful corporate career, to a multi-award winner, coach, and well-established entrepreneurs. You would say, how did I link all these together? And how did I really found success in all of this? It was simple, because I understood what I wanted. I understood what my purpose was. And then I could step into my full potential and explore my life and my opportunities. So my message to you is that you are not your job. Many of us believe that, oh, I lost this, I do not know, but all my life I was doing one thing, how can I do another? You can become successful, and by tapping into your strength, you can create the life you want through multiple jobs. You can change different roles, you can change different careers, different industries. Once you are connected to your purpose, once you are aligned with your why, you will stay fulfilled no matter what you do. So success will come. With it, you might face self-doubt. What am I doing here? Do I belong in this? So through this book, I also share how to break free from certain molds set by the society. By being determined, by connecting to your value, by connecting to your passion. And once you step into this, you can be resilient. And resilience is not, standing still in the face of change. It's more about riding that wave and going to the new shore, discovering how to build from there. So you are here today, and your presence means you are wanting to learn about something new. So thank you for being here and for listening. Keep learning, because growth and learning are addictive, and keep growing. Grab that copy and let's meet at the other side.
Great. Thank you so much, Lena, for that wonderful message. And you're so right. It is very hard for most of us to find that purpose. But once we do, then, life just takes you to just another level. So thank you very much for sharing such an important message through the story that you have personally lived. Now, with that, we move on to Naila Haig, who's also from UAE. Now, she finds immense pride in her certification as a clinical integrated hypnotherapist. It fuels her personal growth and enables her to assist others, tapping into the incredible potential of the subconscious mind. Nyla's journey embraces self discovery, empowerment, and gratitude through meaningful connections and shared growth in life's intricate tapestry. She truly believes that every day, in every way, the best is unfolding in her as she continues to learn and grow to become the best possible version of herself at every moment. Let's hear more from Nyla.
Hello, thank you, Nira. Really, I'm very, very happy to be here. Warm good morning and good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Shaken, stirred, but not deterred, Volume 2. Indeed, these are exciting times for most of us on the call. A bit about myself. I am Naila Haj. I'm of Lebanese origin. And unfortunately, at the age of 4, we had to leave Lebanon when the civil war broke out. Initially, we lived in the UK for the first 5 years, and then most of my upbringing was in Greece. And now for the past 10 years, I've been residing in Dubai with my husband. So all of my life, I've been fortunate enough to be among an international society, be it at school, socially, or in my corporate career. And this has provided me with the opportunity to constantly expand my knowledge and appreciate the diverse cultures around me. A few years back, 5 to be exact, I expanded into an exciting journey as a clinical and regression hypnotherapist. And it all started when my husband easily quit smoking through hypnotherapy sessions. And I was secretly wondering, what else can I get him to do? All joke aside, as I dug deeper into this field, hypnotherapy truly rocked my boat, and it changed my perception on life. It taught me how to embrace my fears, address my core triggers, and taught me to step out of my comfort zone. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now and what has brought me here, co-authoring this inspirational book and putting myself publicly forward for the first time. So congratulations to all of us, and a very big thank you to Global Influencers for this opportunity. The main idea behind my chapter is about discovering and growing as an individual, and it emphasizes that it is really never, ever too late to make positive changes. It talks about the incredible power of the subconscious mind, how it influences our actions, and how through hypnotherapy and various small daily routines, we can overcome just about any obstacle. I do hope you enjoy reading this book and my chapter. Please feel free to connect with me. I would love to hear from you and engage in open discussions. And I will end by sharing my powerful daily affirmation, which has already been pointed out earlier, is that every day, in every way, the best is definitely unfolding for me. Thank you very much and be well.
Thank you very much, Nyla. And I love what you said about getting your husband to do things. And, and it's very interesting because there's a lot of misconception about hypnotherapy. And a lot of people really need to know that it's not about making people do things. It is really about understanding their own powers and how we can actually use that to help people in different ways. So it is amazing that you've taken this to a very, very different level and helping so many people, and of course started very much at home. So for everyone who wants to connect with Nyla, please do look at the chat. Her details are in there, so please connect with her and of course read her very, very inspiring story.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Next up, we have Soha. Now, she believes that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth, and every setback is a stepping stone to a higher level of resilience and wisdom. Joining us from UAE, she is a renowned corporate coach and founder of Forward Training and Consulting FZE, specializing in emotional intelligence, resilience, and leadership training. With numerous certifications and awards, Soha is dedicated to helping organizations and their employees thrive and reach their full potential.
Thank you, Nira. Thank you, Nira, for such a warm introduction. It's an absolute honor to be here among such, I would say, inspiring co-authors. And I would like to take this opportunity to say congratulations to each and every one of you for your incredible contributions to this book. I believe that we have all poured all our hearts into our chapters, and I'm quite thrilled to be sharing this journey with all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are based. I'm Soha Shaheen with a heart full of passion, I would say, and a decade of a rich experience in corporate human resources management. I have basically devoted my life to empowering others as an HR professional and then as a corporate coach and as a corporate trainer as well. I'm the founder of Forward Training and Consulting FZE based in the UAE, where I basically ignite the spark of emotional intelligence, resilience, and leadership in individuals and teams alike. My mission, I would say, is to transform potential into excellence and guide people towards not just surviving, but thriving in their professional and personal lives. I'm incredibly honored, I would say, to be part of this book, Shaken, Stirred, But Not Deterred, Vol.2. So why I have decided to contribute to this amazing anthology is because I believe in the profound strength and adaptability of the human spirit. And I really wanted basically to share a story that mirrors this belief. And I hope that through this book or through my chapter, we can touch lives, offering a hope and offering maybe guidance, tips and tricks to those navigating their storms. In my chapter titled A Journey of Resilience and Transformation, I have basically penned down my own life story. I am that woman who rose from the war-torn streets of Lebanon. My life was full of, I would say, challenging and hard times. I grew up during a civil war, had a very tough time in my career, went through a very painful divorce, and raised two great kids all by myself. Along the way, I was also defeated by the people I trusted most, I would say, adding another layer of pain to my journey. During this challenging time, I had to downgrade my life, simplifying my lifestyle at some point of time to navigate through the storms. But despite all of this, I never gave up. My story is basically a testament to what it means to be strong and resilient. So these words on the page are not just a story, I would say. They are more of a reflection of my life and the lesson that I have learned, shared with the hope of inspiring others. And you could also notice that as I unfolded my chapter or my story, it was like holding a mirror to my own experiences. So I saw myself in the challenges and triumphs depicted on these basically pages. So I faced betrayals from people I trusted deeply, which at time I felt like a defeat too heavy to bear. Yet it was my solid foundation of strength and resilience that became my guiding light. I learned to transform these adversities, yes, into opportunities for personal and even for professional growth. So this is basically the central message I wish to impart to all our leaders, that within each challenge lies a change for growth, a stepping stone to a future we are meant to embrace and shape. Each obstacle for me, or we overcome, refines our character, teaching us more about who we are and who we can become. So while this chapter that I have contributed is just a glimpse, literally a 10% into my full story, I hope it really serves as a beacon of resilience and inspiration for each of you, encouraging to rise above your own challenges and embrace your unique journey. In closing, I invite each of you to grab a copy. You can grab a copy as well, a copy of Shaken, Stirred, But Not Deterred Vol.2. Inside, you will find not only a story, but the powerful and uplifting stories of my fellow co-authors as well. Let these stories be a source of inspiration and strength for you, just as they have been for us. Thank you for joining us today, and I would like to wish you a happy reading. And of course, thank you so much, Nira, Shika, global influencers, for allowing me and probably allowing all the other co-authors to be part of this journey with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Soha, for such a wonderful message, and of course, encouraging others to write. And I know that you were also referred to us by an author who's authored another book, Genwa. So it is all about that. It is about people, sharing their own stories and seeing the power of sharing their stories and telling more people about it. And your story again is so much inspirational, and I again welcome everybody to grab a copy. And you're of course getting so much comments coming in saying inspiring, amazing, and Nala, for you as well, on great journey. So once again, thank you so much for all of the authors who've joined us today and given everyone a little glimpse about their story, and requesting everyone to buy a copy of the book and promote all of these authors. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, that all of the royalties that are earned from the sales of this book do go to Singapore Children's Society. So it is going to a great cause. So you are not only getting inspired, empowered, and motivated by these stories, but you're also helping somebody else. And of course, some of our authors who were unable to join today are Yolanda Mazuzu Madikizela from South Africa, Amrita Mukherjee from US, Nita and Avani Banchawat from Singapore, Lorraine from Australia, and Sagar from Malaysia. Now, they have regretfully said that they're not able to join, but of course, they have requested that you do grab a copy of the book and read their stories as well. And with that, I'm going to pass you all to my darling Shikha.
Thank you, Neera. With that, we come to the end of today's program. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed listening to us and all our authors of Shaken, Stirred, But Not Deterred, Vol.2, Stories of Finding Your Way Through the Storms of Life by Global Influencers Publishing House. Examples set by these women will serve as inspiration, encouragement, proof, and that anything is possible when you take action. As mentioned earlier, the book is already available on Amazon. Please do go out there, buy a copy of the book to be inspired, empowered, motivated, and to celebrate the exceptional accomplishments and achievements of our authors. In doing so, as Neera mentioned, we will be supporting the future voices of this world as the sales proceeds from the book will be donated to Singapore Children's Society. I'm just sharing a link about their website, so you could go out there and donate generously and support their cause. As we already mentioned before, the book is available now for purchase and the links are below. So I'm just going to share the links of Shaken, Stirred, and Not Deterred, Volume 2. These are the links. These are different countries where you can go to: Amazon Global, Amazon Singapore, Australia, UK. On popular demand, we are back on the 7th volume of My Voice book. For those who are keen to write your own stories, we have 5 more spots left. The book will be released in November this year. So if you would like to write your own book, or do get in touch with us and we can help your dream come true. You can also watch our video on previous event where we spoke about how to write, publish, and market your book. And there's a YouTube link, which I would like to share here, and also our contact details in order to get in touch with us in case you wish to write your own book. With that, until the next time we meet, take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.